And because I was earlier, I have layers on. So yeah, all right. Okay, TLC, I love you, but we're going. All right. How's your body feeling today? Okay. What is there anything that makes them feel better? Anything that makes them feel worse? I know internal rotation. Okay. Okay. Don't do any of those. Okay, good. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for Pilates Sculpt Halloween edition. My name is Audra, and as always, don't do anything that doesn't feel right in your body. Listen to your body first, me second. And then today we're going to use a ball and some weights. If you're at home and you don't have that, that's okay. Instead of a ball, you could fold a pillow. Instead of weights, you could use canned goods or water gallon jugs, wine bottles, whatever you want. We're going to begin standing, and I apologize to literally everybody trying to figure out what I'm doing. We're going to bring one hand behind us, one hand in front. And as we stand here, we're just going to breathe. Try to breathe into your back line. It's okay to let the front expand. We just don't want to only let it expand. And then on our exhale, think about drawing the belly button back, sinking the ribs slightly down if they like to lift. And then breathe again. Inflating into our back. And on your next exhale, notice if your collarbones are dropping. And if they did, notice if they're lifting on your inhale. We want to try not to breathe into our secondary respiration muscles unless we absolutely have to, right? So if we are running for a bus or from a tiger, I don't know. Of course, we're going to have the secondary respiration muscles kick on. But since we're just standing, let's try to just inflate. Good. On your next exhale, as you sink back from the front, imagine I've got a little rubber band and I'm threatening to like sting you with the rubber band right below your belly button, and you want to tighten it up just a little bit. Good. 2 more. Last one. Let your arms dangle, nod your chin. We're going to peel down bone by bone and just kind of see where you are today. Shift your weight forward and back. And then center your weight. Take your hands up and over to one side. And then the other side. See how that stretch changes. And then come back to center. And we're going to come onto all fours. Now, if for any reason you don't like to be on your wrists, that's fine. You can always be on your forearms or your fists. Push the floor away, lengthening your ears away from you. Draw your belly button in and up. Slide one foot out. Good. And then fold that leg in. Other side. Notice how each time you do this, you have to almost push more with the same side hand as leg that's extending in order to not shift. And we're pushing up, not to the side. Good. Now both knees in, trying not to shift your weight as we lift one hand. Little kitty cat paws, push into the floor. Now, if you're just letting your arms make contact with the floor, it's easier to accidentally rotate. So push the floor away. Good. Nice straight arms. Good. Drawing that belly button in and up. Now, when you're ready, you can add the leg and kitty cat paw. Making some biscuits. Push the foot away. Good. And you don't have to get it up really high. It's more like you're trying to push towards the opposite wall. Now you can either keep the kitty cat paw or reach that arm overhead. For my body, I'm going to keep kitty cat paw. One more each side. And then slide one foot out if you want. Have the other foot come to meet you. Good. So if you're ready to plank, be in a plank, lift your hips a little bit. Yeah. Hip bones for you, Nancy. There you go. Now, if this is appropriate, great. If not, you can always be on your knees. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend one knee, other side. And you can absolutely stick with what we were doing before. You can bring that knee down in between. One more each side. Knees down. Press yourselves into a rest position. Good. Rolling out your wrists. Take your hands up and over to one side. Press your hips away. And then we get to do the other side. Good. All right. Plank round 2. I'm going to be on my forearms. You can stay on your hands or be on your forearms. It's up to you. And slide one foot at a time out long. Widen through your feet here. And we're rotating into a side plank. Yeah. And if you keep your feet wide, then you don't have to shift each time. But press your feet into the ground, lift your hips up. Yeah, beautiful. And then just rotate back to center. So if your feet are wide, your feet are already there. You don't have to shift them. And then other side. And then back to center. Now, if you're on your knees, guess what? That's great. I'm still lifting my hips off the ground by pressing my knees into the mat. If full knees isn't working for you because you want a little bit more challenge, you can always extend that leg out. Good. So if you find your regular plank, make your ankles stiff. Just come onto the sides of your feet. Yeah. And then back. Last one. And then back to center. Knees down, press yourselves into a rest position. How did those feel? Great? Amazing? Phenomenal? Good. So we're coming back into our side plank. So if your side plank is on your knee, whether it's on your hand or forearm, that's fine. I'm going to show different variations. So everybody come on to your knees. Push down into your elbow, lift your ribs. Now, exhale, bring your top knee and elbow together, and then extend. Good. Now maybe this is where you are, which is great. Maybe this is too easy, in which case extend that top leg, lift your bottom knee, and extend. Yeah, but you got to get your hips off the ground. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Try. Yeah. Last one. And then we get to do the other side. That was amazing, Nancy. That was amazing, all of you. It is hard. Now, once again, you can be on your knees. Do that top side. In fact, I recommend trying it. And then if you're like, okay, more work, got that bottom one, right? It is harder on your hand. So you have a more narrow base of support, so just be aware. With 3, you have to really press into that top leg. 2. Last one, knees down, rest position. Okay, how's everybody doing? Anyone not warm yet? Great. We're gonna come all the way to standing. Walk your hands toward your feet or your feet toward your hands. Dangle and roll all the way up. All right, so we just found a little bit of ab. Earlier we found our breath. So feet together. We're actually going to bend our knees a little, send our hips back. So in this position, Make sure you're breathing into your back. So you're helping to stabilize your spine. If you're really far forward, make sure you're not tucking, but bending your knees so your back can be flat. Good. Now, if at any point your back starts talking, send your hips back a little, shorten your lever, okay? Good, glad we had this talk. Everybody feel, if you're breathing into your spine, it's pretty stationary, it doesn't hurt. Great, come on up. Okay, you guys ready? Good. First, push into one foot. Push it down into the ground, squeeze that glute, find that inner thigh, deep abdominals, float that leg, other leg up. We're just gonna see where we are. Now, if you're on the squishy mat and you're like, oh my God, it's so hard, come onto the floor. It's okay. Good, beautiful, beautiful. Now, we're going to bend that front knee a little baby bit, and we come into a hip hinge. And then come back up. Now, if foot being off the ground is a little too intense, guess what? Tap the toe down, you don't have to keep much weight in it. It's more just to tell your nervous system you're safe, right? Because a safe nervous system is a happy nervous system. Widen through your feet. Good. Trying to keep your spine neutral, right? So we're trying not to arch or round. We want to keep our neutral spine widening through the sits bones. Everybody feel those glutes? Yeah. We have 3, 2. Last one, hold it down. And then that back foot, we're just going to take it away. Let it fold in. Reach it away. Let it fold in. Now, if you need to, you slide the foot on the ground. Good. Yeah, how's that stabilizing leg feeling, everybody? Great. Intense? Good. Now, if you're feeling your hamstring and not your glute, make sure your foot's not turning out or you're not shoving your weight to that side. You're kind of rotating almost towards the leg, and then you center your hips. 2 more. Now, we're going to bring it all the way up, slide it out, hold. Bring it all the way up, yeah. Slide it all the way out, hold. Now, maybe this is where you stay today, which is great, yeah? Anybody not feeling their glute? Okay, good, just checking. Maybe you add on by squeezing that back leg and then bring it in. Good. And out, and you squeeze while you hold, bring it in. Now, it's not about a big range of motion, okay? Which is, it's fine to get, but with this, think of dragging that leg up a wall. Good, 2 more. If you need to, can you hold on to something? Always. Last one. Oh. Now tap that toe down. We're going to try to rotate our ribs and hips together, not leading with either. So that hip and rib go towards that front leg and then back. And I'll show it again. So we're bent and we rotate towards that front leg and back. I would say for you, because it doesn't feel great to go into internal rotation, think of a clamshell, rotate that way. Yeah, and then back to neutral. Is that better? Okay, good. If you can, towards your front leg, bend your front knee. Yeah, and then rotate your hip towards your front leg. Yeah, there you go. Good. 2 more. Last one. Hold. Now, rotate off of that leg. Check your knee. I know you can't see mine, but if I go here, that's internally rotating. So I want your knee to try to stay over your second and third toe. So you are rotating off, yep, Rotating your hip bones off your thigh bone. That glute should be working hard, yeah? If you want, of course, you can lift the foot. If you don't want, that's fine too. 2 more. How's this feeling, everybody? I'll take your silence as it's amazing. Yeah. And come back up. Go ahead and pedal through your feet. Let your foot relax. You guys ready for round 2? Thank you. Thank you. You are. It's true. We'll do the same side again and again. All right, tiny little bend of the knee. And then hip hinge and hip hinge. Yeah. So you can always do this with that foot elevated. We started it elevated last time. If you're like, I would like the tiniest bit of support, great. You can plant that foot, put weight in that foot for more support. And then if you just need moral support instead of actual support, just barely plant that toe. If you're like, I don't need support, lift the foot. Try to keep that arch nice and active. And then really find that glute. We're trying to eccentrically load it. So we are widening through our sits bones. Good. How's the side feeling? Great. Good. You guys are like, I guess it's just the first exercise. Good. Good. Ah. And then we can extend and then bring it all the way up. And then extend, hold, bring it in and up, slowly lower, extend, bring it up. Good. See, not the end of the world, not the worst thing we've ever done. If you want, of course, you can lift that back leg. Think of it dragging up a wall. Try to keep that knee bent as opposed to straightening it. So we're going into hip extension before knee extension. Is it bad to go into knee extension? Nope, it's great. But it means that there's more force on the hamstring. We're trying to find glute. Couple more. Good. And 2. Last one. And then we bring that foot down. Okay, we're gonna rotate. We have everybody ready? Hips and ribs. Rotate, let that hip slide back, push into the floor, come back. And you can just keep doing the rotate away, yeah. Few more. Good, trying to think of that inner thigh, pulling you down. You pause, and then back. And pause, back. Couple more. Good. Trying to keep the ribs and hips all rotating together. Good. Now we get to hold and we get to do the other one. So opposite way. Keeping that knee bent and over your second or third toe. So if you need to, that toe stays down, no problem. If you want, you float the leg up. But if, just stick your butt, sorry, stick your booty out a little bit. Keep your toe down. Find this glute. Yeah. Keep your knee in a line. Yeah, yeah, there. Yeah, see? Good. 3 more. And 2. Good. Last one, come all the way up. Now we're going to do a hip hinge with a hamstring focus. So yay, we're not gonna do a million of them, I promise. So straighten your leg, but without hyperextending. We're going to lift the kneecap up the leg. Here is a Wendy cue. If your kneecap is or if your leg is a boba tea straw and your kneecap is a tapioca pearl, you want to suck the pearl up the straw. Okay, so your quad is helping, inner thighs are helping. Now, flat back, this leg is straight. You're gonna hip hinge, only go so far that your back does not round and you don't feel too much strain. And then bring it up. Keep the leg straight. Yeah. And then if it feels good, you can slide that foot out. It feels different, doesn't it? Yeah, so, yep, good. Keep it straight the whole time, which is way trickier, right? Does that feel okay on everybody's back? Good. If it doesn't feel okay on your back, don't go as far. I know, keep it straight, squeeze that quad. Yeah. Last one, that's why we're practicing, right? I know. Other side. That's it. We're just gonna keep the leg straight, see how that feels, and then hip hinge. Only go as far as you can control, as far as it feels okay, as far as you can go without hyperextending or rounding your back, right? And then maybe extend the leg. And if you're like, I want more hamstring flexibility, I mean, I get it, but go into a range where it's pure hamstring flexibility and not your body trying to get extra range where you don't have it, and breathe, and you'll start training that end range. Good. Couple more. Last one. And come up. Nice job. We're coming onto our knees for a second. Good. Now, just see what your body says, right? If you're like me and you have tight hip flexors, maybe your ribs are going to lift, maybe your buns are going to stick back. If either are the case, squeeze your glutes forward, drop the ribs down. Try to be in one long line. Now all we're going to do, push down and slightly out with your knee so that glute kicks on. Bring one foot forward. Yeah. Bring it back. Other side. Does this feel okay on your? Yeah. So if you need, why don't you bring it out to the side? Okay. Good. Because this does require our femur to internally rotate a little bit. Yeah. Is that better? Okay. Good. Nice job, everybody. Now, see if you can hold for a second. Yeah, and then hold, and lift, and then it's a little bit harder, right? Yeah. One more each side. Now, we're going to bring that first leg forward. Tuck that toe under. Before we come up, think about your hips going back just a little bit. Push down into the floor. We lift. Split squat more than like a lunge, right? Slowly lower. Good. Other side. Push. Slowly lower. Yeah. Good. So a lot of times with the lunge, it's very upright, which is just a lot on the quad, could be a lot on the knee, right? So let the hips shift back a little and then tuck your toe under. Use this back leg to help you. And then keep your knee rotating towards me a little bit. Yeah, Good, and then slowly lower. Does that feel better on the knee? Good. And then we do the other side. Yeah, only go down as far as you can. This is perfect. Yeah, thank you for listening to your body. Good. Now one more each side. Good, yeah. After class, I have an idea for your foot. Okay. All right, we're gonna come all the way up and then see if you wanna balance. Now, you have options. Option one, slide that foot out, bend it as far down as you can get it, come back, come back. Or slowly lower on the one leg. Try to slowly come up on the one leg. If that is too much, stick with the first, right? We hip hinge. We just did these. Bend the knees. Yeah. And balance. We're on the same side. Touch the wall. Yeah. Just one finger. Yeah. One finger on the wall. Yeah. It's going to be so much easier. Right? Yeah. Or, of course, we slowly lower, slowly lift. Good. Last one, last one. Guess what? Other side. You guys are like, do we have to? Yes. Yeah. All right, we're just going to get up and down. All right, so get up and down. And then you can hold. You can hip hinge and lower. Hip hinge, come up. So we've just hip hinged. And if you're like, well, why are we hip hinging, Audra? So we can use our butt, right? Because if we're not hip hinging and we're up high, and it's not bad to use your quads. It's great to use your quads. We need strong quads, but we also need our buns to do their job. Good. So if you're trying to do the single leg, that's great. But if your knee is all like crazy, bring the toe down. Right? Even if you're not putting weight on it. You all right? Tap your foot down before you bend your front knee. Tap. Yeah, then bend. Then straighten, then up. Yeah. So hip hinge first, then second. Yeah, good. And you can drop that back foot earlier so you don't have to be here, right? Unless you want. In which case, go for it. Yeah. Last two. Yeah, good. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Last one. And come all the way up, grab your weights. Now, I would recommend heavier weights here. I am using lighter weights today, but I tend to recommend like 5s, 7s, 8s, 10s. All right, bring your feet together. Squeeze your inner thighs together like you're trying to pop a balloon, and then externally rotate your knees slightly. Little bicep curl. Now slowly lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again. So I've not used 3-pound weights in so long. I'm like, why? Why would I do this to myself? I'm gonna pretend that they're real heavy. 2 more. Now, we have options. You guys ready? Option 1, bicep, come to center, bend, push your knuckles down and slightly back. Hold, and then come up, bend, boop, down, push down, 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 and slightly back. This is option 1. It's a great option. Option 2 is the exact same thing, only you lift a foot. Right? And you press back, and then bring it up. Now, if you're like, I'm in between these 2 options, you can challenge your balance a different way by imagining you're on a tightrope. Okay. Good. Couple more. Or tightrope other side. Yeah. Press down to get back. Good. Couple more. Like, which side have I not done? Good. Two more. And then whichever variation you're doing, if you're on your right foot, you're going to switch to your left. If you're on your left, switch to your right. If you're on both, that's okay. See if you can squeeze those inner thighs a little bit tighter. Good. Yeah, just a few more. If you're on the tightrope, if you haven't switched legs, switch legs, right? Good. We're just challenging our stability on our sagittal plane and our frontal plane by limiting our base of support, right? You guys are like, I guess. Yes, that is what we're doing. And we're working our arms. Yeah. Good. One more. Good. Yeah. Now we're going to bring one foot forward. Little tightrope. Yeah. Little static bicep curl. Bend your elbows more. Yeah, there we go. Now, think about the same elbow as front leg. Drag it back and back. So we are as front leg. Drag your left elbow back. And look at the left elbow. Rotate to your left. Rotate towards her. Yeah, just like that. I think it's just always hard for you to listen to me because I'm telling you to do weird stuff all the time. Good. If you, oh yeah, actually perfect. Yeah. Now if you want, reach that other arm forward a little bit. If it doesn't feel great on your shoulders, don't do it. 3, 2, other side. So now we're challenging our balance on our transverse plane, and we're getting a little bit of those postural muscles, right? So static bicep, switch feet, Nancy. Thank you. Now rotate towards that front leg. So good. Couple more. Close your ribs a little bit, relax your shoulders. And instead of retracting both, let your elbows come forward a little. Yeah. Now just pull one of them back. Yeah, there you go. Should feel a little bit better on the back. A little bit more action in the lower traps and rhomboids. Good. 2. Last one, and you can start extending that arm. Close your ribs a little bit, everybody, if you tend to feel your back arch. 2. Last one. Now we're going to challenge that stability on the transverse plane again, opposite way. So tap one toe down. Ignore this leg, it no longer exists. We're going to rotate towards the leg that doesn't exist. Rotate the other direction. And then if you want, push your arms out. Bring them in, push them out. Yeah. Try to keep that knee still though. So the knee is not wobbling because the arch of the foot is active and the glute is working and inner thigh is working. Yeah. So that's the challenge. Yeah. Yeah. Couple more. Shoulders relax. Don't press out as far. Yeah. So close your ribs a little. Temper your range. Yeah. That feel a little bit more core, less neck. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Last one. Other side. That's it. You guys are doing great. Everybody okay? You all went like this. Take a break. Take a second. Tap. Find that glute. Find your buns. Find your inner thighs. Keep the toe down if you need to. We're just going to rotate and then rotate. And maybe you'll lift the foot. Maybe you don't, right? Maybe you start to extend the arms a little. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're in between. Maybe you're like, I'm gonna extend them an inch. Perfect. Don't worry about going into a crazy range, especially if you're wanting to like extend your arms, because this is going to be a lot on the back, right? Only go about to 60 degrees, maybe. Yeah. 2. Good. Last one. And is one side easier than the other? Probably. Nice job, you guys. We're going to come on down to all fours. Yeah. Everybody should be so excited. Okay. Now, as we do this, it is tempting for our little squirrel shoulders to try to come up. But before we do this, draw them down. Lengthen your ears forward. And then without weights or with weights, think about that elbow drawing down towards your hip as opposed to up towards the sky. And then just squeeze the bottom tip of your shoulder blade a little baby bit. And then other side, shoulders down. Elbow points down behind you. And then that shoulder blade just activates a little bit. A lot of times what we tend to want to do is pull that elbow towards the sky, which gets that shoulder to rotate and translate forward, which gets our upper traps really active. So we're trying to find lower traps and then a little bit of rhomboid. Lower traps and maybe a little rhomboid. Couple more. If you want to do this without weight, that's fine too. Now, we're going to hold. Inhale. Exhale, push into that bottom arm, rotate your torso. Yeah, and then back. Nancy, try to find your abs a little bit more. Hold, and then rotate. So it's less about that elbow coming. It's about we hold, and then our ribs rotate. Yeah. And then we hold, and then our ribs rotate. One more. Good job. Press yourselves into a little rest position. Now, how's everyone feeling? Great. Good. Bring your hands in front of you, knees behind you a little bit. Squeeze your buns forward so you are in a knee plank. If this is happening, I need you to push the floor away. And then you can bring your hands a little bit closer to you. So push your hips up. Yeah, tuck your tailbone, push your hips up too. Tuck, so you're here, I want you here. Yeah, there we go. Now squeeze your butt forward so the shoulders are out of the ears. Yeah, there you go. Now slowly let yourself lower down. Inhale. Exhale, make sure that your shoulders are rolling back. Push the floor away. Oh, Nancy, think of a plank. Yeah, slowly lower. Inhale, shoulders rolling back. Exhale, plank position, push. Plank. No. Let's talk about it. So when you come up, if you're like this, that's like a cat stretch, right? That's like a cat waking up. Think about your belly button. Well, part of it is you just lowered your hips. Plank. Yes, you can. Knees on your knees. Knee plank. Yeah, tuck your tailbone. Push. Don't go down as far. Lift your hips more. Right now. Tuck. Tuck and lift. There. Come down an inch. Oh, that's. Bend your elbows, not your neck. Hey, Nancy, you're going to just plank. Just plank. Everybody else. Keep your knee plank. Try not to sink into the shoulders. Bend your elbows towards your hips. And then set your shoulders, ribs and belly button to the sky. Yeah, and guess what? It's fine. You can't do it yet. Yet being the operative word. We're gonna grab our ball. Hey, guess what? There were a lot of things you used to not be able to do that you can do now. So don't limit yourself. You can't do it yet. All right, we're gonna place this underneath our thoracic, so about at our rib cage. And I know I'm turning away from you guys, but I'm always watching. So if you're like, how does she know? The mirror is our friend. So hands interlaced behind our head, and just first let yourself extend and relax. Now, spiral your elbows slightly into your periphery. Exhale, slide your ribs down, collarbones forward. Yeah, and then slowly extend. So we're trying to get some movement through our thoracic. And then exhale, push the ball away, yeah. Letting that spine move. As much as I want your abs to work, I also want your spine to be able to move. Yeah. 2 more. How are these feeling, everybody? Pretty easy, pretty good? Good. Now, if your elbows are super wide, it's gonna be harder. So bring your elbows in line with your vision, yeah. And on this next one, hold, bring your hands forward, push your hands into an imaginary surface, and then slowly bring your hands up without putting any more weight on your prop, and slowly lower. Was that more exciting? Yeah. Use your breath. Exhale here. Inhale. Exhale. Yeah. Same. Keep it nice and slow. So push. Slowly paintbrush your hands up. Yeah. And lower. Got 2 more? Good. Beautiful. Last one. Unless you need a break, in which case take one. Hands up, interlace and hold. Now slide one foot out. We're holding that chest lift. Slide one leg in. Slide it out. Bring it back. Good. How's everybody's upper abs doing? Great. How's everybody's lower abs doing? If you're like, I don't feel them. Find your deep abdominals by hugging your hip bones together and lifting your pelvic floor a little bit. 2. Last 1. Step that foot down, slowly lower. Take a break. Why? Because you all deserve one. Come back. Hands up. You guys are cracking me up. And extend your other foot. Slide it in. And again. Few more. How's this feeling, everyone? Great? Good. Yeah, that's what I thought. 2 more. Last one. Feet down, extend. So the other side of the room, how is that feeling? Good, good. All right. Now, it's going to get more fun. You ready? Elbows forward. I don't believe you, Nancy. Nod your chin. We're going to curl. We're going to float. Opposite leg rotate towards it. Slowly lower. Other side. Now, as we do this, push your elbow into your knee into your elbow for a second, if you can. See how much more work that is? Yeah. That little isometric contraction could be real fun. Everyone doing okay? Good. Love it. Couple more. Nancy, I have a question for you a little later. After class, I have a question for you. Just remind me. Last one, each side. And extend and relax. Nice job, you guys. How did that feel? Wonderful? Good, we're gonna come up, so extend your legs. Now, bring your elbows forward, nod your chin, come into your chest lift, and then push your ribs back. We roll forward, and then restack. Time for roll-ups. If you're like, roll-ups are real hard for me, Audra, we have options. We always have options. So if having the ball behind you helped and you liked it, you are welcome to maintain your roll-ups with the ball. If you have a pad underneath your low back that you like, great. Let's start. Hands forward, shoulders draw down, lift your ribs, and roll all the way down. And then come up and forward, yeah. Good. That was a very nice slow peel. Yeah, everybody, looking good. Feeling gorgeous. Good. Now, if for any reason you're like, I need a little assist, you can always bend your knees and then send your feet away. 2 more. Last one. And we're gonna make it all the way down. Bend your knees. Feet flat. Now, make sure your neck is nice and aligned. Take your hands, we're gonna make a little triangle shape and slide them underneath our hips. So they're gonna frame your sacrum, that triangular bone in between your cheeks. And before you do anything else, make sure there's a pretty even amount of weight between your thumb and your finger. I don't want all the weight on your fingers. Bring one leg at a time to your tabletop. If this is your tabletop or this is your tabletop, I'm fine with it. Inner thighs squeeze together. Try to keep that weight a little bit more on those thumbs as you slowly let your knees go away from your face, toes tap towards the ground, float back up. Couple more. Then if that feels good and you're like, I'd like more work, please start to slowly push your feet away a little bit. You can also put your hips on the ball if it's not comfortable on your hands. And as we press the feet out, we're not necessarily trying to go to a straight leg position immediately. It's not bad, but sometimes our body will skip through the hardest range to get to our end range. 2 more. Last one. Bend the knees, feet down. Come off of your hands. Hands will interlace behind your head. Elbows come forward. Exhale, come into your chest lift. Bring your feet to your tabletop. Push 1 foot away. And then let it fold in. Other side. Now we have so many options. Are you guys ready for option 1? Stick with this. Great, right? Option 2. We're going to extend one leg, roll towards the knee, come back to center. Switch. Option 3 is we're actually going to roll towards that extended leg, which is harder to control. because our hips want to roll farther. So it's up to you. We have just a couple more. You guys are doing great. Good, you're doing awesome. Keep that bottom leg lifted. And we come all the way back. Doesn't matter if it's pretty, right? That's why it's Pilates practice and not Pilates performance, right? All right, bring those legs back. Go into your extended position. So maybe your knees are straight, maybe your feet are towards the sky, maybe your knees are bent. We're gonna curl forward and slowly lower one foot, bring it up, other side. Now, if you'd like, you can always bring your head down. If you're excited about scissors and you want to sharpen them, bring one hand or bring your hands behind your legs or one leg, lift a little higher, and then let go, try to maintain that same position. And then switch, then pull it a little closer, try to maintain that same position. Good. Feel how your abs have to kick in more there? Yeah. Make sure you're pausing in between, you guys. We want to hold, then switch. Then hold, then switch. Know why the hold is important? I'll tell you in 1 second. And hug your knees towards your chest. Rock from side to side. The hold is important if we want to get stronger faster. Go ahead, just kind of spiral your knees in the socket if it feels okay. And then other way. Hands behind your thighs. Roll all the way up. All right, it's teaser time. Do you guys, teaser feel good for you guys? Great, okay. Okay, so we're gonna do some teasers in a different way. I'm watching the time, Nancy, I promise. We're gonna squeeze those inner thighs together. Imagine your thighs connecting at your ribs. Think about your roll-ups we just did, okay? Now, we're gonna push the feet away from us as we roll back off of our tailbone and hold. Now, if you're up on your tailbone, you're more likely to grip through your back. So we want to be behind it. Inhale. Exhale, push those feet away, let the hands come back. Okay, this is your teaser position. No problem. Now, try to lower everything down. Begin with your roll up. Push your feet away, maybe they lift. Yeah, push. Now maybe you're like, you know what, that's a little too much for me and my hip flexors today. Guess what? No problem. Slide your knees in. Maybe you come into a ball shape, maybe you don't. Yeah. Just think of curling forward first. Yeah, Nancy, yes, yes. So I just got really excited about that. I don't know what that voice was. Good. Let your neck kind of elongate in the back. Let your chin come down a little. Last one. Bend your knees. Reach over your legs. Yeah. Killing it. All right. We're going to go ahead and come onto one forearm. Now, if you're like, this is too much for me today, man. Oh, hey, you can lengthen all the way down, no problem. If you're on your shoulder, though, are we doing slumber party shoulder? I know I'm in a onesie, but no, we are not. We are pushing into the ground. We're lifting our ribs. And we're going to come into a little clamshell. Now, I don't care if your knee points to the sky or not. But if as it tries to point to the sky, your hips have to open, think about your hip bones pointing forward, don't go as far, and slowly lower. And then let that spiral happen from the back. Good. Point your hip bone towards Nancy just a little bit more. Yeah. Point your hip bone this way too. Yeah, there you go. Good. Yeah, right there. Yeah, good. Do you feel how so right there is where your hip is moving back? Point your, yeah, only go as far as that. Yeah, yeah. Good. Couple more. Yeah. Now, keep doing what you're doing so you're not going into internal rotation. Everybody else, we're going to lift the foot and then rotate. So you can lift both feet if you want. Internal rotation, external rotation. Or if you're like, I need the extra base of support, tap the knee down, lift it up. Good. 2 more. Good. Slowly let that leg lower. Good. Last 1. Other side. So you guys thought we were going to go mean. No, we're going nice. Push the floor away. Hip bones pointing forward. And just lift as much as you can allow that leg to gently rotate. Good. Try not to tuck your tailbone under here. You want to widen through our sits bones. Sticking your booty out a little, Nancy. There you go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good. Couple more. Now on this Halloween playlist, if you guys are like, why is this song on here? Ask me, I'll tell you my reasoning. I have like 70 songs on here. So if you're like, I love Halloween music, you will never get the same playlist twice. And then if you're ready, you can lift both feet. Have the internal and external rotation, right? Few more. This is MIA. It's called Bad Girls. Hence, it being last one. Nice. We're coming all the way to standing. So roll all the way up. Now, flip your palms to the sky. And just think about your collarbones being wide, like you're taking off a big jacket. Thumbs go back, collarbones lift, then back down. Just a couple more. Try to find upper back, not just lower back. 2 more. Good. Last one. All right. Now, we're going to use our ocular system and vestibular system a little bit for balance. Let's keep our feet together. We're going to do a spine tornado. Close your eyes. Make sure there are no like obstacles. And the first line of defense is open your eyes. Keep it slow. Eyes closed. Ear to shoulder. Drop the chin towards your chest. Ear to other shoulder. Now go ahead, head back. Now we're going to drop the ear to the shoulder again, but we're also going to let the shoulder come down. And then let the shoulders round. And then let the shoulder come down. And then we're also going to let the ribs move a little bit more. So we've just gotten that spine tornado bigger. Now our hips are going to move. And then all the way. Guess what? Other direction. So we're just starting with the head. Ear to shoulder. Chin to chest. Ear to shoulder. Head back. Now we add a little bit of movement through the shoulders as well. Just letting it be a tiny bit bigger. If you start getting dizzy, open your eyes. Or slow it down. Now add the ribs. Add the ribs. Then add the hips. And then all the way. Now open your eyes when you've gotten all the way back. And then we're just going to stand on one foot. See how much easier that is? Yeah, no problem. If you're like, well, that was always easy. Guess what? Look from side to side. Yeah. And if you're like, that's still easy, close one eye. If you accidentally make eye contact with someone, just lean into the fact that you're basically winking at them. It's fine. And then other side. If you're like, yeah, that was already really easy. Cool. If you're like, this is my exciting side. 2 more. Last one. Nice work, you guys. Bring your feet down, shoulders to your ears, drop them straight down. Give yourselves a round of applause. Awesome work. Thank you so much for joining me today. How did everything feel? Good. Oh, so what I was going to say, let me pause this. Thank you, Monica. Annie, hi. So one thing that I was noticing when you were standing, when you were having a little bit of trouble balancing, your toes were trying to help, and then you were rolling out onto the blade of your foot. So if you can, just when you're thinking about it, just try to spread your toes, find equal pressure through the outer, inner, and heel, and then think about your arch just suction cupping up a little bit. So a lot of times I think we tend to supinate if our arches either are so high that the foot won't relax, or it's so weak that our nervous system is trying to find a way to, yeah. So I haven't looked at your feet that much. So if your arches tend to be really, really high, work on letting them relax a little. And if they tend to like be a little lower, think about that suction cup. Yeah, and I think it'll help a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, does it hurt all the time, or does it just right? Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Well, that is actually where your tibialis anterior muscle goes. So if you're ever like, what? The tibialis anterior goes do, 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 and it goes here. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I would roll it out some. Yeah, no, I think it's like that muscle just is really, you know, if there's some weakness in the foot, that might overwork. If there's tightness in the like calf, that can overwork. I have a tiny broken bone in one of my feet, so that's why I'm wearing shoes, because like otherwise it just doesn't. Yeah. So yeah, I would say try to spread your feet wide, like your toes wide, so you've just got an easier, wider. And if you need like bye, thanks. If your arch is like, oh my God, I'm dying, like start without it, try to activate it. If you get to a point where you're like, grab one of the washcloths and just fold it, slide just underneath there to give you a little support. It doesn't have to be underneath the whole foot, just like, you know, just so you have something. So your arch is like, I feel safe. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let your, yeah, no problem. Monster. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah. All right.